Hello guys, and welcome to my latest video here on SPVids, and today I have the Sonicware Lofi12 XT on the table, and what I want to do in this video is show you how to sample into this device with a mobile phone. This was a question that was requested on the SPVids Discord server. If you want to go ahead and join my server, check out the link in the description below. That was asked there, and yeah, I'm going to answer it in this video. So one thing that I do want to mention before I start is that this is something that often gets asked about the various bits of equipment I've owned over the years. I've done different videos about sampling into various devices via mobile phone, and all I'll say is the only thing about these devices which changes how you sample in with a mobile phone is the inputs in the back, really. So I'll talk you through this like you've never sampled into anything from mobile phone before, and then you should be able to apply this to any sampler that you own. That's the hope from me anyway. So there's a few things that you need, and I'm going to walk through them. There's probably slight variations on the cables, the adapters, those kinds of things, but I'm just going to show you exactly how I do it, and if you want to follow along verbatim, that's absolutely fine. If you want to go about it your own way, that's also fine as well. So firstly, and obviously, you need a device. This time it's the Lofi12 XT. Next up, you need a mobile phone. I think this is the iPhone 13 Pro, but it doesn't really matter. It's mainly about whatever input you have on the bottom of your phone here. Mine is the Lightning connection still. So that's the first thing you need to look out for, is that depending on what device you have, they're gonna have different inputs and outputs on the bottom. So you're gonna need to find the correct adapter for that. So my adapter that I have for this is this one here. Hopefully this is in focus, it's quite small to see. So this is Lightning at one end, which goes into the bottom of an iPhone. iPhones are changing to USB-C at some point, but I'm stuck with this for now. So it's Lightning at one end, and then at the other end it's 3.5mm jack. So that means that I can plug in a 3.5mm jack, and then this converts it to be able to go into my phone. You can get these off eBay really cheap, so that's what I've got. So the first thing that I'll need to do is plug this into the bottom of my phone. So there we go. It just is an adapter so that I can get a line out of this basically. So that's that side of things done. Now the cable that I'm using here, and this is more about availability of cables that I have really, but this is a 3.5mm jack at one end. You can see hopefully here. So that will fit perfectly into this adapter on the end of my mobile phone here. And then at the other end, this goes to a red and white phono. Now the back of the Lofi12 XT is actually a 1/4 inch jack. So what I've got is these adapters which take a phono connection and make it into a 1/4 inch jack. Now you could get a cable which is 3.5mm at one end and two 1/4 jacks at the other end, then you don't need these adapters. But this is the only cable I have with 3.5mm jack at this end, which is what I need to go into the bottom of my phone. So therefore I have to use these adapters. Luckily I've got these adapters as well. So you can probably guess what's going to happen with these. They go on the end like this, and that means now that I can go straight into the back of my Lofi12 XT. And there's inputs in the back, and I'll put in a clip of me plugging those in. Okay, so those are plugged in to the back of the device. You can see here, make sure they're in the inputs obviously. Don't want to teach you guys how to suck eggs, but it's always worth checking that. Now, this obviously then just goes into the adapter. So now we are all hooked up and ready to go. Once you're hooked up like this, you can get any audio that you want from your phone and record it into this device or whatever other device it is that you're using. And when I say any audio, I mean literally anything. Anything that comes out the speaker of your phone can be recorded out of this connection which I've set up here. So even if it's an answer phone message, something like that, it could be a voice note from your voice notes app, it could be a YouTube video, it could be something from Spotify. You can get any audio from your phone to your device using this setup, and in particular, this time around obviously it's the Lofi12 XT. So once all these cables are set up, you just sample the normal way you would sample into this device. So we're going to go to the sampling area, which you can see is in red under the record. To get to the sub items on here, you have to hold function. So I'm going to hold function and sampling. And you can see here we are into the sampling area. Now you get various options which you can change with A here. You can see you can do mono, you can do stereo line in, You can do microphone, the built-in mic. You can do guitar. The one that you want to choose is this one. It's the double jack, the double 1/4 inch jack, left and right signal. That's going to give you a stereo signal coming into the unit. And then obviously there's other options on here with the Lofi12 XT, which I'm not going to get into in this video, such as the sampling rate, etc. I won't talk about that in this video, we'll just get to the recording. So I've got one of my beats here. Obviously I don't want to get copyright for actually sampling a real sample, but just imagine that this is a normal sample. And if I press play on my phone here, you can hear that I'm getting a signal of that into the Lofi12 XT. It really is that straightforward. And obviously this is a mobile phone, but don't stay in the box with this. I mean, anything with an audio output, so like an old TV, for example, old tape players, old VHS players, they'll all have methods of getting sound out of them, even if it's just a headphone jack output. So with the right cables, you can pretty much get audio from any device, so long as that device has an output. There will be a cable somewhere, or cables and adapters like I'm using here, which will enable you to do it. So you can hear that signal coming in nice and strong. Obviously you can adjust the volume on your phone if you need a stronger signal. So I'm getting a really nice strong signal there. And just as you'd normally sample into this device, you press record, and then I'm going to hit play. Okay, and there we go. And if I press the button on the Lofi12 XT now, there we go, it's sampled that audio in, and we could use that. So obviously you're not going to be recording in your own beats to this, you're going to be recording in real samples, but that was just a demonstration so that I don't get copyright problems. If you have the right cables and something that you own has an audio output, there will be a combination of cables and adapters which enable you to sample into any device that you own, and that is specifically how you do it on the Lofi12 XT with a mobile phone. So I hope that's useful, and there will be more tutorials coming about this device in the coming weeks. I'm going to be drip feeding these on, including all sorts of things like workflow, more information about sampling, how the device works as a whole, so look out for those. One last thing I want to mention before I leave is that I have a brand new sample pack on my website. It's called Noise and Static. It's got an incredible 50 noise and static sounds that you can use to underlay on your beats and samples. They've all been processed through my SP404 Mark II and my Analog Heat 2 as well, so they sound really, really nice, and they're very, very usable because they've been made by a beatmaker for beatmakers. So if you could go and check that out, there's a link in the description to my shop. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks for watching again, guys. Thanks to all my members for the continued support. I will be back with more content very, very soon.